Time is an important commodity, and we'd like to thank you for the courtesy you have shown by giving us the time to make this presentation. We will try to keep it brief as we make every effort to entice your senses and pique your interest. We are VCMP Entertainment, a creative environment of creative individuals all dedicated to concept origination, development, and management of our unique brand of original film and television entertainment. Today, we are introducing a hybrid in what we believe you will agree is the next generation of unscripted television entertainment. As the flagship of our efforts to date, this show speaks to the heart of passion for a broad spectrum of the total population. It can compete head-to-head with all challengers and do for its viewers what the popular singing and music shows have done for the music lover. And yet, this is not a singing show. It is not a music competition or a talent show. What it is a show with the ability to attract more than 150 million people in the United States while opening the door to global franchising and syndication in 40 countries around the world. A show with a theme that rides a wave of popularity that for more than 50 years has proven itself to be constantly evolving, self-rejuvenating, and growing. A show that delivers a diverse demographic to include men and women of all ages and social-economic backgrounds, with a special emphasis on those people aged 18 to 45. A show with the ability to compete head-to-head with all other shows in the same time slot, pulling viewers from other broadcasters, cable, satellite, and internet networks. A show that delivers its own unique breed of advertisers while appealing with the network's current array of advertising interests. A show that will drive increased advertising rates through supply and demand and has been called a cash cow by the Vice President of Advertising at a major broadcasting network. A show with fiscal responsibility, introducing a new source of revenue that makes this show self-funding, self-sustaining, self-supportive, and best of all, highly profitable. The new revenue that is interlaced into this show will generate $34 million or more, with as much as $24 million going to the bottom line of profitability. What we're talking about is revenue that is above and beyond other traditional sources, money that is collectible in advance of filming and will more than adequately pay the bills for an entire season and still contribute to that bottom line. And it does it all before the first commercial ad or product placement agreement is sold. Essentially, that means this show can be completed and delivered without the usual out-of-pocket investment by the network, and it allows all other revenues to go straight to the profit column. How many shows do you have that can do that? Just to be clear, we're not talking about any low-budget show or a show that is operating on a shoestring. Quite the contrary. This is a first-class production all the way. As structured, this show will cost $10.5 million annually and provide a total of 13 episodes, including 12 regular season 1-hour episodes and one 2-hour season finale. Each 1-hour episode is designed to allow 32 30-second commercial spots. If this show accomplished nothing else, it would still be intriguing, but we've only touched the iceberg. There is much more. So what turns a great show into a cultural phenomenon? Is it the manner in which a show makes a connection to its audience? The way the audience identifies with the characters? Is it the storyline? Is it the genre? Is it how the story relates to current events? What about the attraction of flashing lights, ringing bells, and blowing whistles? Or is it the way it lets people escape the humdrum of everyday life? Of course, it's all these things. So let's start with these things as the foundation, the basic ingredients we will use to construct the next generation in unscripted television. Let's establish the target audience. We want to go big, so let's focus on men and women between the ages of 18 and 81 with an emphasis on people 18 to 45 years old. That's a healthy goal, but to be more specific, we're after 150 million viewers in the U.S. and another 527 million people worldwide. We're not suggesting these are viewers who will tune into every episode. We'd like that. But we are talking about people who will make a personal, heartfelt, and passionate connection to a show just like this. They always say there are plenty of fish in the lake. And if that's true, it seems to make sense that the bigger the lake, the better the fishing. Where this is not a singing show or a music show, our audience will connect in much the same way, with appetite for passion. Look, we know a lot of people go through your doors and make a lot of promises they can't keep. So instead of telling you what this show can do, why don't we show you how it does what it does? That way you can see for yourself what it can do. You will see that this is a show that adds that extra to ordinary to become extraordinary. Nothing connects people better than the things we easily relate to and identify with on a personal or intimate level. Unless they are hermits or been reclusive, people seem to connect well with people they have things in common with. Common interests, common desires, common dreams. Let's see if we can't find that common denominator for our target audience. It will have to be something that connects on the grandest of scales and seals the viewer to the show like brick to mortar. Sports comes to mind. Most sports do a good job of connecting to their fans. The fans not only watch their favorite sports, but they also love to have a personal experience playing the sports they love. Golf fans golf, basketball fans shoot hoops, football fans throw passes, and baseball fans play catch. But I'm just not sure these sports manage to connect to both men and women equally. Sure, women watch these sports, but probably not to the same scale as men do. They say that motorsports draws a close parallel between men and women, as well as young and old. NASCAR claims a 60-40 blend of men and women. In some age groups, it's almost an even 50-50. However, there's been no shortage of shows that have given participants the opportunity to land a seat as a rookie driver on professional racing teams. Ironically, most were carbon copies of one another, doing the very same thing in the very same way and all meeting with the very same fate. One show that stands out as doing a good job of promoting NASCAR was also responsible for discovering drivers like Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Robbie Gordon, and David Reagan. Of course, they were very young when they made their debut, and each came from a background of racing on dirt tracks, and one came from IndyCar racing. In essence, most of these shows were an extension of the racing style they represented. For fans, these shows were another day of doing what they do every weekend, cheering for professional drivers. I wonder, did they even have time to do more of the same old thing? Even most die-hard race fans want something different once in a while. If we're going to go big, we need to make a connection that will knock the ball right out of the park. Batter up. What would happen if we used some of the elements of a motorsport to attract the diversity of their fan base and do something so completely different it will speak directly to the heart and passion of those fans? They love fast cars, fast speeds, and they love the thrills and chills of fast-paced action. I can't imagine they'd be any different from other sports fans in their desire to have a personal experience with the sport they love. In fact, most every race fan has dreamed of one day riding in or driving a real race car. It's a dream so big, its only rival is the dream of one day purchasing the winning lottery ticket. So let's make a show for real, everyday people, men and women, 18 to 81. Instead of being about winning a rookie seat on a professional racing team, we'll make it about living the dream and the experience itself, using cash prizes, exotic vacations, and bragging rights as the primary motivator. Connecting the participants and viewers through the commonality of their own dreams, that's powerful stuff and will bond them for life. Not only would we capture the race fan, we catch the aspiration of the speed demons. You know, those people with an affinity for fast driving who pass us by on the freeway as if we're somehow traveling in reverse. Did you know that 40 million speeding citations are issued every year in the U.S.? That's 76 tickets written every minute of every day around the clock and only accounts for those unfortunate enough to get caught. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of a leadfoot myself. I've certainly gotten away with speeding a heck of a lot more than I've ever gotten caught. Where there's fast cars and fast speeds, we'll find those race fans and speed demons. But we'll also find extreme sports junkies, motorheads, muscle car and performance car enthusiasts, and people who've had their own heart-pounding moment behind the wheel of a car. Of course, we want to be responsible in how we do this. We can't just toss them the keys and say, have at it. We're not NASCAR. So let's use amateur drivers only and put them through a driver's training program designed to build confidence as they learn, practice, and develop the skills necessary to do this. We'd use a safer modified version of cars that look just like the cars they use in NASCAR. To add excitement and keep it from ever being predictable, boring, or mundane, we'll introduce 16 new and different contestants each week. They'll all be dreaming of being the winner. No doubt, they'll have the time of their lives living one of their all-time biggest of dreams. Let's add a twist and use the training to give the show a game show-like flavor while providing a platform for the contestants to build points that are ultimately used to determine who the winner will be. That's the same system used by most racing series to determine their winners. For us, it also provides a level playing field, giving Granny an equal chance to play against the Young Bucks with the same expectation that she could win. It isn't necessarily going to be the daredevil or fastest driver who wins, but rather the most consistent driver in all levels of play. Imagine the excitement as our contestants get up close to a real race car. For many, it will be the very first time. Picture their faces as they ride along with an experienced driver only inches from the wall at speeds most will have never gone before. We'll laugh along as they stall out and struggle to get the cars off pit row the first time they get behind the wheel. But we'll marvel in amazement in the confidence and determination they've gained over the hour as they prepare for the final battle, the exciting 40-lap shootout race between the 12 drivers who survived elimination. For contestants, this is an experience they won't soon forget. They'll pass the memories of this experience through generations to come. This is exciting stuff. Are you ready to get your race on? It's easy to relate to what people are doing when what they are doing is what you dream of doing. Viewers will live their own dreams as they ride along vicariously, seeing themselves in the role of the contestant. This isn't about people cheering for professional drivers. They already do that on the weekend. This is people cheering for people just like themselves. It is thrills, chills, and dreams coming true, but above all, it's an experience you just can't get anywhere else. As people realize this is an experience for and about them, like a snowball rolling downhill, it just gets bigger and bigger. We include a format that has been proven successful by the popular TV series American Ninja Warrior, where we provide a brief bio of each of our weekly contestants. This show is more about the experience and less about individual character development. Each of 12 regular season episodes is focused on identifying the one player from each episode who will emerge as the winner and move on to compete in the season finale extravaganza. This season finale extravaganza is this show's version of Mount Midoriyami, and it is as exciting as it is challenging. From the 192 total people who will try, 12 will move on to the final challenge, but in the end, only one will be crowned as grand champion, and he or she will be the envy of the entire racing fan community. During the regular season episodes, each group of 16 contestants will battle their way through challenges and various levels of training to earn points from 16 to 1 in the order they finish the objective of each point category. We use 4 teams of 4 players who compete both individually and as teams, applying their own strategies to prevail. They must be vigilant or risk possible elimination if they remain the low point earner on the team before the final point building competition. The 12 players to survive the elimination will go on to compete in the 40-lap shootout race, the last point scoring opportunity before the winner is announced. The high point earner overall will be crowned that week's winner. The season finale extravaganza is the 13th and final episode of the season. It is an episode that is, in and of itself, very different from all other episodes. Training is eliminated along with that point-building format. Starting with the score they earned during the regular season episodes, the 12 finalists will be at the mercy of their individual performance to build their scores and have a chance to be crowned as grand champion. They will battle through 3 different racing formats as they zigzag their way through a challenging go-kart track, driving shifter carts capable of speeds of 125 miles an hour, sitting just 1 inch above the ground. They will move on to a road race driving Formula 3 cars, the first-level competition cars used in the popular Formula Racing series. Finally, they will compete head-to-head driving our modified NASCAR-style cars in an extended 60-lap shootout race. With egos, bragging rights, and $1 million on the line, competition will be intense as the season finale extravaganza concludes the current season and sets the stage for the next. Again, the winner will be the one player with the highest overall score at the end of all competitions. This show is appropriately called My Fantasy Racer and has been dubbed as being the fastest reality TV game show on Earth. Where there is much more to it than has been revealed in this brief presentation, it's a show that is aggressively looking for a television network to call home. Strategically speaking, it is a show best suited for placement during the fall-winter season, ideally starting in November and concluding in February, during the time that the racing community is enjoying its time off and their fans are yearning for that next racing fix. Filled with many twists and turns, this project has been meticulously crafted with no stone left unturned. No matter what may happen, when it may happen, or what choices a contestant can make, this show is designed to always reach its successful conclusion fairly, honestly, and naturally in each and every episode. Obviously, a show of this nature will attract advertisers with special interest in reaching the interests of our fans and demographic. For them, we offer a captive audience. Finally, about that new revenue that can make this a no out-of-pocket venture for you. You may have already guessed, it's on-car sponsorship. However, instead of a single car sponsor, we're offering team sponsorship to include 4 cars. Race cars simply look naked without branding on them. Although we have not engaged any binding agreements, in just 3 days of testing this concept, we generated $20.25 million in pledges from the first 5 major companies we approached. It works, and we are only one network agreement away from turning those commitments into cash. We could go on and continue to fill in the blanks about how this show does what it does, but we know you have questions, and as my daddy once said, I have an answer for everything. If you are watching this presentation on video, Disc 2 has been designed to help answer the questions most frequently asked. With that said, I will conclude this presentation by simply saying, My Fantasy Racer is the fastest reality TV game show on Earth. It was created by a fan, and it is dedicated to, for, and about the fans of motorsports and those people who love to drive fast. Isn't it time you got your race on? Live the dream, drive the car. My name is Terry Homer, and I am the creator of this show. Thank you for your time.